serendipitous.
Where are we now? About the reason for the shark.
Why I don't like sharks.
Yes.
Yeah, need to hear it.
Start with that.
So
That's
it's
a
not
good
about
one.
your
Why?
fear.
Why don't I like sharks? And I've grown to love them. Okay, go ahead.
No, I don't love them.
Okay.
You didn't see me in order today. Did
Respect.
You? If I loved them, I would have jumped in today. If you're called, I'm sorry.
Being on no.
Oh, that's kind of scary. He threw us in there, but he wouldn't go in himself.
But
Okay.
he threw you first.
Okay.
He's like, okay, Brian, why don't you go in? Just jump in, Brian.
Yeah.
Brian, just jump right in now.
Right now, go
And then
ahead.
Brian's like throwing the flippers on. He's like, boom.
I've already done it 5,000 times. I don't have the interest. Okay.
I don't blame you. Okay.
Go.
Okay. So you just think of all the energy on the planet. Okay? Tigers, bears, sharks. I'm putting it in a different perspective just because you guys kind of understand. Now, something has been trying to kill you for 50 years. Okay? And they've aggressively 5,000 times tried to eat me. Okay? Now, would you like that type of animal?
You have a point, sir.
Okay, now here's how this is how I back up the story.
Yeah, I need to hear the background.
This is like the ending.
Yeah.
Okay, this is how this came about. I have photographs of me and my mom and everybody. At 6 months old with a diaper on, my parents loved the beach in South Florida. And my dad loved girls in bikinis, so he liked to go to the beach, look at the girls on the beach in bikinis, and exercise. We used to walk. She's listening to music, she doesn't hear me. Susan, you ready to go home?
I'm listening.
Okay, so...
Can you throw in the Gordo story, or is that too far off?
No, it's all part of that story, but I not tonight. They don't know Gordo, so I can't.
Okay.
So,
That's
6
his
months
dad,
old,
Gordo.
my parents would take me to the beach with my diaper on, and I'd swim to the surf, and it'd be 2-foot waves crashing on the surf, and I wouldn't look back. I just started swimming off. At 6 months old. Okay, and both my parents said that was something about me. Okay. I had 2 older brothers, and so what happened was they were spear fishermen. Okay, this all emanates around shooting fish, and so.
And you're a Pisces, right?
No, I'm an Aries.
Oh, you're Aries. Okay.
Oh, she is an Aries. There you go.
Okay. What? March what?
April.
7th, 71.
Well,
Good year,
April
71.
2nd.
Good year, 71.
Nice.
1971 was a wonderful year.
That's what he told me earlier.
I had no idea. There's a story behind that year too, by the way.
I'm sure. I'm looking forward to that. So carry on.
So
That's chapter 7.
Actually, that was the beginning of my book.
Right. Oh, okay.
1971.
Ah, we got that on film already. Okay.
We have 1971 on film.
Cool.
Hey, I'm here for a reason. I don't know why.
I told you.
Fill me in.
Something happened. So let's go on the story. So what happened was my older brother would go out spearing fish, and so I used to watch them. And I was about 6 years old when I saw my first shark, and we were off of Crandon Park at Cabanas on Key Biscayne, and I swam out with my 2 older brothers, and I saw my first nurse shark. I was, my jaws, scared, stunned. At 6 years old, I remember every memory of this as if it happened today. I saw this shark. I couldn't swim. I couldn't breathe. I thought the thing was going to come eat me in half. At 6 years old.
I had the same experience seeing the nurse shark when I kind of first went out with you.
Okay. So, but I didn't know any better. I was 6 years old, and my brother looked at me, what are you doing? Come on, you know. And I started floating. I had to go back to the beach. Okay, so I had that fear. But I'm categorizing this for Brian actually. But where it real came in is I started shooting fish my whole life, and I did it today. I went out and we shot dinner. We didn't shoot any fish. We got lobster and a conch. So I've been spearing fish when I was 8 years old. When I was 6. Just after I saw the shark, I had this little Voight spear gun. It was about this big, It had one little band on it, and I was 6 years old that I couldn't pull the band back to load the band spear gun, okay? But my brother loaded it for me. I'd ask him, here, you pull it back. And I'd go swimming off the beach with Gordo, okay? We'd walk down to the Cape Florida, the lighthouse. And so when I was 6 years old, I had my spear gun, I had my mask and fins. We walked down the beach. It was like 5 miles. It was a great, my dad liked that. He was an ex-football player. He played for the Washington Redskins 1 year.
Wow.
He was a pro football player. He was a big guy. And so I swim off the beach. That's what I have to tell you. I'm only telling you this part because of Brian and the thing. So I swim off the beach with a little teeny spear gun, and it was like indigenous in me, or my 2 older brothers were doing it. And this grouper about this big. I mean, it was a nice grouper. And off Key Biscayne, there was grass ledges and sand and ledges and stuff. I got this little teeny spear gun, and all of a sudden this grouper comes along down this ledge, and he stops, and I free dive down, and boom, I shoot him right in the head, and I killed this little grouper at 6 years old, and we took it home that night, and they had it for dinner. I mean, it was my brothers had gotten other fish, but it was like this really big deal or something, at least in my mind at the time. And I just like it. Free diving is huge exercise. It's good for you. It's like running. I've been a marathon runner too. So
Free diving is serious.
But free diving is just not an impact. When you get older, your bones start hurting. So let me go on from there. So I just started spearfishing my whole life, which I did today. Okay, other people play tennis or golf or have other interests in life. Spearfishing has always been my interest through my whole life, and that's one of the reasons you asked why I moved to Bimini. The reason I moved to Bimini is the best spearfishing in the world I've ever found, and I've been all over the world. Okay, so now he knows I had this mentor lady when I was 14. She was 42. And it's a longer story, I can't get into it tonight, but she was my older brother's girlfriend was her aunt. So I can't explain it. I know everybody, Marcia Marquette and Lorene Wiggins. But she was a huge spearfisher lady. She was like this crazy lady shooting fish at 42 years old. But she lived in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, because her husband was in the Merchant Marine. She was so bored at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, that she used to go swimming off the beach shooting fish every day for entertainment, and she became this incredible. She was my
mentor.
Mentor.
Yeah.
She was more than that, but my mentor. But so I started shooting fish all the time, and I started a little fish business. Okay, for 30 years I was selling speared fish people in Miami, okay, and Lorene was her name. She was doing the same thing. She had a little Jamaican. She lived way far away, but she had a little Jamaican people that love fish, and I had Lebanese people, believe it or not, that loved fish. And so we had these little businesses. So we'd go out together, go shoot fish all day long, and she'd take her fish home, so I'd take my fish home. So I've been shooting fish my whole life. Well, the problem with shooting fish, why it's different with sharks.
It attracts them, right? The blood.
Well, that's why I tell you, all these shark people and everything, they all think I'm stupid or whatever, and I don't care, okay? But they go out and they take dead fish and they chum like you were doing today, and they put it out and the shark come and eat it. Ooh, how beautiful it is.
Right.
Well, it's a total different ball game when you're out there
hunting,
and you go down and you shoot this grouper about this big,
and you gotta bring it back,
and he's floundering and bleeding and trying to get away and everything else, and when that 14-foot hammerhead comes up,
it's hungry.
it is a different ball game. It ain't like, oh, let's go up to the bull shark and pet the bull shark like they did today. Oh, look at me petting the bull shark.
You're taking its food.
When I am out there for the last 40 years, free diving down 30, 40, 70 feet, whatever whatever, and I'm shooting fish, and that fish is bleeding and floundering. The vibrations are going out.
That's right.
It is a total different ball game than going over and petting a bull shark that has just been fed. And they all think that they're doing something so great on the planet. Well, the problem with me is I'm down there. I don't want them to get my fish, so I'm trying to keep the fish and keep the shark away from me because I want the fish in the boat because I have a business and I'm trying to, whatever. So it is a total different thought process.
So would you have that? Would you have that? Have you like shot something and then had like shark?
I've had
sharks
3
come in
hammerheads
saying,
come around me and
"That's
try
my
to
food?"
bite me to death as I'm struggling to get the boat, kicking them off, hit them with spears and guns and my fin. You got 3 hammerheads chasing me like I am the fish.
I've seen it. I've seen it. Yeah.
You've seen it, and so it just, they think that they're like the gods of the planet because they're over petting sharks and I'm swimming with 15 hammerheads, blah, 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 blah. It is not the same ball game. When you're in the middle of the ocean, these sharks have now swum with 5,000 people, and they know what you are. They don't want you. They're looking for the next bite of fish. Chum and is dead. When I'm out there in the middle of friggin' nowhere, and this shark never seen a human being in his life, it doesn't know me from anything else, and I shoot a 40-pound grouper, and he's floundering on the bottom and bleeding, and I pull him out of the rock, and I'm trying to swim with the boat, and that hammerhead comes up.
That's nuts.
What's funny is you've got the attitude down there of like, it's as much mine as it is yours. Get the hell out of here, Mr. Shark.
He's fighting the shark.
I earned this
Fighting
thing.
each other. I want the same thing he wants.
Because they're like predators. You're both predators.
Of course.
And you're taking his food. And he's like saying that,
Right.
It's like
And
if you see
that's
a
how
hyena
they think.
and a
You
lion.
hear from that for a minute. I just want to tell you, that's how the shark thinks. Is I'm competition.
That's right.
Okay, and everybody goes, oh, just give him the fish. And even Doc Gruber, the shark, I love him to death, but he doesn't quite understand. I said, Doc, I've known Doc for 40 years, and he's done the same thing I have in the past. That's what he says. Doc always tells me, just give him the fish. Every time I give him the fish, he doesn't want the fish. He wants me because I am his competition.
That's right.
And he wants to eliminate me at that time.
That's right.
Wow.
Get rid of the competition, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then after he eliminates me, he goes back and eats my fish.
That's right. Just like the
That
hyena
is,
and the lion.
I looked at, like I look at you in the eye, and you're looking at me, and I'm telling the story. I look at the shark right in the eye, and I look at him, and I can read his brain. He reads my brain, and I go like this, and we go like this, and they look at me, and I goes, oh.
You're like
I
me.
look at him, and we come to an agreement, and I said, look, guys, don't mess with me if I can. And I've had him go, screw you, I'm getting you.
And others probably caught your energy and said, this guy's a predator too. And I don't play with him today.
Right.
Well, they're all different,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, but the problem is all these shark experts in the world haven't done what I've done. And they think I'm stupid. He's just some stupid spear fisherman, I've had 10,000 more shark encounters than they'll ever have. And I'm not bragging on myself because I don't even care. I don't like them. I don't want to be in the water with them. If I shoot a fish and a shark comes up, I'll grab my fish, get in the boat, and I'll go 10 miles away.
That's
Just
what
get
you
away
wanna do.
from me.
Can you share the one where the one came right at you when you were out here getting conquered?
Recent of that hammerhead one.
Came out of nowhere or something, or you just barely?
Nah, I'm not gonna do it tonight.
Okay.
I have about 3,000 shark stories. That's not even part of my book. All this is not even in my book.
But you know
He likes it, but-
what I really find
Okay, right,
interesting.
that's enough.
What I find interesting is the mentality of I'm down there and he's hunting. He's a hunter. So and they're hunters.
Exactly.
So he's hunting.
To survive.
They're both hunting.
Hunting to survive.
Right, yeah, because they want to feed. You both want to feed. So when you this is a contempt, because so he shoots something, and this fish goes into the trauma of being like the
Shot.
death, right? The death throes, right?
Exactly.
And
It's
that is
doing everything
putting
in
the
power to
energy
live.
of death. And the sharks are picking all of that energy up, right? With
Absolutely.
everything. And then they see this guy there, and they're like, "Excuse me, what
And
are you
they've never
doing
seen
here?"
a human
They're like,
being
"What are you
ever
doing
in their
here?
life.
What do you think you're? What, you know what they're saying? They're saying, "What do you think you're doing here?
Yeah. Why?
What do you think you're doing here?"
Exactly.
And then you have two choices. If you're me,
You leave the
You
fish
probably go-
in the boat.
You leave the fish and you get the heck out of
me
there.
and Brian,
You leave the spear in the fish
Trying
and
to
get the
find
hell
it.
out of there.
but he's like, "What?
No.
What?"
I shot
That's
the fish.
mine.
I want my fish.
And I'm,
But there
That's
must be
intense,
something
man.
so deep inside of you that has that
It's
knows
primal.
that I don't know, something about it must be very indigenous to you. Because that's not normal for most people.
that's primal, dude.
Yeah, but
That's like-
I've been doing this forever, so it's kind of like just normal to me.
It's normal to you, that's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not normal to like normal
To anybody on
humans.
the planet, I'm telling you, all the shark people, everybody in the boat and everything, they all have a different thought process than me with the sharks. That's
But-
why.
I think part of the difference is too, this is your life. I mean, diving
Well,
and spearing fish. This is what
I
you
did
live
it for a
for.
living for a long time, and it was that. I don't do that anymore, but I still go out and shoot fish, and I enjoy it, and
I like the whole idea. of it.
it's great exercise and everything, and I bring it home, and I feed 5 Bahamian families.
Yeah.
If I should go out and shoot a bunch of fish, how much fish can I eat? With 1 or 2 little fillets. Sutherland's family's got, 100 people. I got 5 other families that I take care of. I give it all away to the rest of the Bahamians. I'm feeding them, but I never want to shoot more
Then you can eat.
than I can eat.
That's
Okay, so
That's
that's
hunting.
that's. I used to sell it, but it was a long time ago. But I just take what I think I need, what kind of comes my way, and take a little bit for me, and I feed the Bahamians.
No wonder that a lot of Native American or just shaman type Aboriginal people find you or
I'm
attracted to you
telling you,
because that is
I don't know why, but
because
they,
there's something so just so present with you in this lifetime that for you it's just an ism, but
yeah.
and so it's a great reminder to us all. Like, think about it. You don't have to pay taxes on those fish. You're out there with Mother Nature. You go out there. You accept the bargain of possible danger.
Mm.
You do it to survive. You don't take more than what you need. You help others with what you can, if you can that day. You're not paying the tax man and the corporate bullshit chain on what it is that it's a pretty interesting, amazing alignment.
Well, that alignment's not even my book.
That's
I hold a whole other
It's not
book.
your book, but it's your charisma.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's your charisma because it makes you the real deal, not the bullshit story.
Well,
I got a
I'm an
question.
Aries. If you're an Aries, we I'm a typical Aries. If you read all about Aries, I'm it.
I'm married
Everything
to
I've
one
ever-
already.
Hardcore. It's a
Well, we
hardcore
do
sign.
what we do.
We do what we do.
That's
You
true.
know? See, in Aries, I
And
know
guess
Aries
what?
very well.
There's nothing that's gonna stop you.
If I want to do something, it will happen.
It's
That's
hardwired though, but it's
It's
so
the fire
normal.
thing.
It's normal. It's indigenous.
Oh, I did a chart one time. And I have to tell you this.
With who?
That's right. You're getting all these stories, but I dated. I'm single, so I date women my whole life. That's kind of part of my chasing girls is part of my life.
Mm.
Okay, because I'm not married. Okay, I started dating this girl. Her mother was like really old. She was 80 or 90, but she was reading charts and doing everything forever. She had these old. I saw it. She had these old things from the 30s.
Yeah. It's
I mean,
exciting.
this went really deep. That's why I can tell you that you'll appreciate this. So this was somebody that was really into it.
Yeah.
Okay, and an expert at 80 or 90 years old with all this old charts and everything. So I started dating this really cute girl, and she was open. That's how I call it. She was kind of open, and So she says, I need to know the exact day, the exact hour you were born.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so my mom my mom wasn't alive, but I forgot how I found it. But I found I was born like 6:30 in the morning on April 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and she wanted to know the date and everything. So I started dating this girl, and she's really cute, and we were getting along okay, for a month or so, and so she got all. It took me a while to find the exact hour I was born. I forgot. I think I went to the hospital. I was born in Coral Gables. I had to go to the hospital to pull up the original document, and I found it. So I give it to this chart reader, and she reads my chart, and she says, first of all, my girlfriend at the time comes over with the answer that I was curious. I said, what it said. And she says, well, I'm going to tell you, but I can't date you anymore. And so she turns around and she says, my mother told me to get as far away from you as possible. She said of the 80 years or 90 years or 60 years, whatever she's reading, she's never read a chart like mine. She said I had 7 fire planets all lined up in a row, and she had never seen that in all the chart reading of her life. She lined them all up, and she says, we don't know how you can live or exist.
That's so funny. You know what? I have someone who's in the
See, I don't know if you're a chart reader or not, but I'm just going to tell you, this is what I was told, and the daughter hauled ass and never saw her again.
Yeah. I'm not, that's like a lifetime science. It is so intricate in detail, astrology.
Of course, this lady was so into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do have someone that, man, you would love to maybe connect with her. Do a little 30-minute.
Bring her to Bimini. I don't know. I don't need it personally.
Yeah.
I'm so happy with myself. And
it's just, it's not,
it's
even
kind of
as a
interesting.
form of entertainment, interesting.
Yeah, it's entertainment.
And
To me, it's just entertainment.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
kind of what it
But
is.
it's entertainment that makes you go, holy.
I have a question.
Okay.
When you spearfish,
Yes.
do you do it with like a rope? Like
No, Hawaiian sling. You'll see me tomorrow.
Like Hawaiian, like when we were in
It's a
Hawaii,
free
we
shad.
saw young
that's
guys.
them.
They're spears.
Yeah, that's
And
all
they-
it is. You free shot them.
Yeah.
Well, I grew up with a spear gun, and I grew up with a Jaguar French spear gun that was pneumatic and had air pressure. That was the best. That was the best shooting iron I've ever had. I call them shooting irons. That was the best I ever had. Me and Maureen, the bar none. I wouldn't miss. The boom, and it's from 30 feet away.
Really?
Oh, you shoot 30 feet.
The problem is, you get that one good shot, but that's it. And
Well, I could load it so fast.
Oh, so you would carry
4 spears.
4 spears.
I'd shoot 4 hogs in a row. Boom, 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 boom.
Right, without coming up. You're just.
Well, we had.
You're on
It's
tanks.
legal with tanks. It's
Okay.
not legal here.
Oh, really?
No, you can't. You got a free dive here. But
I have to
back
shoot.
in the States, it was different.
Okay.
But
Interesting.
I could reload. I could shoot 4 shots with a tank on. I free diving with my Jaguar. I didn't like tanks. I never really kind of liked tanks. I preferred free diving always. Lorene was a tank diver, my mentor lady. There's a whole story about her. She was a magnificent creature on this planet. But this house is in memory of her, actually. And I'll tell you that story over another night. But I could load that Jaguar 4 times, boom, boom, boom. I always carried 4 spears because you get in a group of hogfish. You might see some tomorrow. You get in a group that they come in like in this big herd. All of a sudden, boom, 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 shoot a couple, and they scatter.
Because that's your email address is hog, and this is
It's Hoghaven, the name of my house.
right. So I need to see this fish. This
Oh, yeah.
hogfish.
You
There
got
will be
to.
one tomorrow, hopefully.
Interesting.
And we'll eat it.
Yeah.
They're-
See, I love the way he talks. He's a hunter.
And they're amazing
I
too,
love
because
the way he talks. He's
they-
like, we're gonna get it, we're gonna eat it.
they're like chameleons. They'll go into a reed and they'll change colors to match
Really?
the whatever plant there, or the coral or something. So you can hardly see them. But this guy's got hawk eyes. He can spot
Yeah,
them.
I see movement. Well, Susan.
She was so cute. She was sleeping like that for like 20
She
minutes.
needs to go home. She has to go to
Mr.
work.
Brian,
Yes.
we do
Yeah.
the honors
Yeah, turn it
for
off
this young lady,
and take Susan home.
and we're gonna
Good night,
take my young
Susan.
lady upstairs.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, what a nice night.
Signing out. What is today?
What
January.
is today, Gina?
January
22nd?
22nd.
2015.
We just got here.
Thursday, January 22nd, 2015.
I think.
Yep.
22nd. Third
Okay.
miss.
The only reason
Good night.
I don't know what year it
Jetsons.
is, but because you guys booked and money went into my account, I remember the date, so I knew I had to pick you up. Other than that, I don't
PayPal,
know.
baby.
I don't know what year it is.